What time is it?
6:45.
I had a feeling this was going to be a non-event, mate. I reckon your snot's giving you a bummer.
There's still time, Ted. If he has fed me wrong, I'll rip off his head and spit in the hole.
Steady on, old lad. You'll be giving the CID a bad name.
Sierra Oscar to Watchman. Over.
Watchman.
He was there when you came on last night, you say?
That's right.
I think we better have a word with our watcher. Right. See you, Paul. Have a nice day, as they say.
Morning.
Morning, Gov.
One crack from you, Dashes.
Never said a word.
Didn't need to. It was written all over your face. Any news from Ted Roach?
Drew a blank.
Great, call him back. Told Carver I want a word with him before he books off. About time he sorted out that snout of his.
Oh, with all that bum steers from snouts, Gov. Occupational hazard.
Don't teach your grandmother. Just call him back. Then get onto records and get me the file on the Brewer case.
Again?
Just do it, Mike.
Yes, Gov. Yeah, Paul noticed him hanging about. He came on last night.
Is he still there?
Yeah, have a look for yourself. Just across the street. Just standing there, watching, waiting.
What's the matter, Edwards? Couldn't sleep? Well, I think someone ought to have a little word with the man, then, yeah?
Me too. Good Lord, Bob. You know, they reckon seeing a CID character this time of the morning is a bit like spotting a unicorn.
Rarer than rocking horse droppings. And there's such nice young men
Oh,
out there.
yes, indeed.
Oh, watch out, he wants to fight. Hey, but...
Bob, you were about when Galloway tied up the Brewer murder, weren't you?
Michael, Bob was about when the Crippen case was tied up.
Yeah, thank you. I love you too and all top. Yeah, what about it?
I suppose you know the Home Office has given the green light to an investigation into the case.
It's weeks ago.
They can do all the investigating they like. Ian Lyndhurst was guilty as charged.
So what's the problem?
The Detective Chief Superintendent in charge of the inquiry is due here at 9. Galloway is sitting in his office looking decidedly worried.
Roy? In at this time of the morning?
2 unicorns.
Look, this is not the first inquiry of this sort, and it won't be the last. Roy got a good result on that case down to good coppering.
Yeah.
They might have cut a few corners, but...
That's what worries me, Bob.
That's what worries me.
Right then, come on. Back to the Ponderosa. I'm bloody famished. It's no good worrying about it, Jimbo boy. We've all had bummers aimed at us. It's part of the course.
Looks like the governor sees it that way, that's all.
Aye, aye. Here comes Matt Dillon.
Having a good day?
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Waste of time if you ask me.
Yeah, didn't see too much of you last night, did we, mate?
What's the point? I know you two blokes were here. This ain't the only son I guard, you know.
Yeah, well, if nothing else, we've given you an easy night, all right? So don't knock it. Come on, let's piss off, Jimbo, before I lose me rag, will you?
See ya.
A bloke really gets up my nose, you know. Have we got any drink left? My mouth tastes like the inside of an Arab's boot.
Yeah, there should be half a carton of orange juice in the back somewhere.
Oh, great.
What the? Sorry, boss, he's bigger than us.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
I'm Sergeant Penny. This is Sergeant Peters. We're from across the road.
Why?
Can you tell us what you're doing here, sir?
I'm waiting for the mate to pick us up.
Really, sir? Well, you're a very patient man. You've been here for hours.
So?
I think we'd like to have a little chat in comfort, if you don't mind, sir.
Take your bloody hands off me.
Oh, dear. Methinks you're telling us porkies, me old cocker.
Come on.
Hello, Roy. Now you were about before they took the wrapping off a new day.
A comedian I don't need right now. Thank you, Robert.
I wasn't trying to be funny, actually.
Good.
Okay, got it bad, haven't you? What's up? Yeah, all right, I know. You've been through all this before, Roy. It's no big deal.
Yeah, but you haven't met Detective Chief Superintendent Ledbury. It's like something like your worst nightmare.
The bloke murdered the Brewer girl. You proved the case against him.
You wouldn't think so, the way things are turning out. In the light of so-called new evidence, the Home Office have decided to reopen the case.
We ain't got nothing to worry about, have you?
Lyndhurst killed the Brewer girl. End of story.
So what's your worry?
Ex-Detective Sergeant Alec Locke. My old sidekick.
Oh, yeah. What's he doing now?
Runs a pub over in Enfield. Ledbury's been talking to him.
So what?
Word added that good old Alec went deaf and dumb on Ledbury when he asked him about Lyndhurst making his confession under duress. Well, you know as well as I, when someone clamps up like that, it's as good as saying the game's up.
Alec Locke should have known better than that. It wasn't coercion, was it?
Lyndhurst confessed. He killed that girl because she was turning a few punters on the side.
No, I know. That wasn't what I was asking you. Are you telling me you have got something to worry about?
$200 Welsh lads pitted against the might of 30,000 screaming Zulu madmen.
Michael Caine weren't Welsh.
So?
Well, he was a star.
Artistic license, isn't it? No, look, 30,000 screaming Zulus armed with spears and blowpipes and clubs and that. I mean, all our lads have with guns.
Yeah, very funny tough. Look, ain't it about time we popped into back of Ted's cap?
Oh, shit. I knew it was going to be a silly day. Oh, bloody hell.
Glamour of the CID, eh? Long nights in cold vans. Snouts giving you bum information.
Oh, build up, will you, Bob? Anyway, what are you doing in the canteen at this hour of the day? You should be on shift.
Perks of the uniform branch.
Bob, Taffy just called in. We've got a jumper on the top floor of those high-rise flats in Becker Street.
Brigade?
On their way.
Some perks, eh? You're better off out of it. You don't need all that kind of hassle, man.
Oh, sorry.
Here you are. Galloway's waiting for you two, and he's doing his nut.
As you were saying.
But I'm a collator, Sarge. I'm not match fit anymore. Besides, WPC Ackland can cope. Your cover, Olive, and that's it. She's a very experienced officer. It's Wednesday, Olive. You bloody well know what's on the cards for this morning. Yeah, signing on date for those bleeding jippos. Got it.
Oh, dear.
Well?
Blow out.
Before you book off, Jim, I want you to go out and find that snout of yours, have a word with him. Let him know you're not a happy man. I'm sorry, Gov, I don't know. We've all had bum steers from snouts in the past. But the first rule is you give them a hard time, let them know it's not on. Keeps them on their toes, right?
Morning, all. You're going to like this, Gov, but not a lot.
Guess what?
What?
A site foreman has just rung in. It seems a 40 grand JCB digger has gone missing from his building site. The very site that you two were supposed to be watching last night.
Oh, Gov, it can't have. That's impossible.
Well, I think you both better get back down there and tell the foreman that. Thank you, Alec.
June?
Sorry, June.
I'm half as sorry as I am.
We'll be back as quick as we can.
Right. Now, if you can remember, all you've got to do is put one foot in front of the other. That's it. It's called walking. It's what we do most of on foot patrol.
I hope you realise I've got a bad back.
What's the state of play? Well, we've made contact with a family living in the flat directly below where she's standing. I figured that's the best chance you blokes have got of a catch her.
Looks about right.
It's flat 58, Mrs. Hargreaves, on the 10th floor.
Tell us, son.
Banner Road, Road, Chigwell.
10th floor. Right. I'll be on 11. Sarge.
Right, Yorkie, what's your speed?
Well, the woman's name's Mrs. Peggy Chambers. She lives alone. She's separated from her husband. According to the next-door neighbour, she's been down in the dumps for the past few weeks. She reckons she's a bit of a pain. Nobody seems to like her much. Sarge, this is Mr. Brennan, the caretaker.
Morning, Mr. Brennan.
Morning.
Have we tried entering?
Yes, the door's locked. I didn't want to force it in case I startled her.
I don't suppose you've got any spare keys, have you?
No chance, Governor.
Right, Mr. Brennan, we'll give you a shout if we need you. Thanks very much. Right, get on the radio and get me a locksmith down here pronto. Start moving those people back, Yorkie. You know the drill. Viv, you and me, we'll go upstairs and start talking to the neighbours while we're waiting. All right, let's go to work.
Sarge, look.
Look, we won't do anything until the brigade is set up. We can win this one. Come on, let's do it.
Was here when we pulled away, Ted. It was here right on this spot.
Well, I ain't here now, cop. What time did you arrive on the site, Mr. Regan?
10, 7:15. I was expecting to find you bloke still here as it happens.
But what about the security guard? Was he nowhere to be seen?
Nope.
I've just heard over my radio.
So where were you?
Well, I left just after you boys. Like you, I figured everything was going to be all right.
Oh, that is bloody marvellous. So sometime between 6:15 and 7:15, some little firm breezes in here and has it away with a 40-grand machine. That's going to look good on report, isn't it?
Looks to me like somebody's carted it away on a low loader.
No! I saw one put in as we were turning away.
What? What did you say?
I didn't give it a second thought at the time. You were poking your head through the back trying to get the orange juice.
Well, I'm not going to put that on the report, am I? We're in enough trouble as it is. You're just going to have to keep your mouth shut about it, all right?
Right, grab a pew, son. So, apart from a couple of minor driving offences, you've never been in trouble with the law before, Mr. Hardcastle. A nice, law-abiding citizen. Until now, that is. So, what's with the iron bar? And why outside this nick? Look, son, playing the strong silent type's not going to do you any favours. Are you aware of the seriousness of the charges against you? Right, Mr. Hardcastle, you want to play the mug? That's fine with me. No skin off my nose.
Just give us 10 minutes along with him, Sarge.
And what good would that do?
We're from the same part of the world. I know his hometown.
Yeah, all right. I could do with a cup of tea. 10 minutes, no more. God save us from the stubborn silent types.
What's your problem, Looker? Help me, son.
Where you from?
I was born just up road from Goldthorpe. Ardsley. Just outside Barnsley.
Oh, aye.
Where do you work? Pit?
I lived 3 years since. Chippy. Work abroad a lot.
Oh, huh? What, Saudi and that?
Aye, Saudi most time. How come you're down here?
I like it down here. But what brings you down here, Mucker?
Got to talk to someone, I suppose.
Is that Debbie? It's, Roy. Roy Galloway. I'm sorry to ring you so early, love. Is Alec about?
Why can't you lot leave him alone? He's not in this job anymore.
Look, I just want a quick word with him, love. It's important.
Yeah, it always is, Roy. When you're out of stuff, he's not here. He's gone away.
Away? Where?
You're the detective. Find out for yourself.
Thank you very much.
They brought in hard bastards from all over the country to bash the lads back to work. Who call themselves coppers. They're not but a bunch of legalised thugs. Thatcher's bleeding brown shirts.
You were abroad, you said.
Aye. The two brothers and my father were there. Our kid got belted round the head by one of you lot. 28 stitches needed to keep his brains from falling out on the bleeding pavement. The bastards were using bloody great clubs as big as pit props.
I could show you some things used against us that'd make your hair stand on end.
They took over the front garden of Father's house as a store for riot shields. The bastard things were stacked so high I couldn't get out of the bleeding house.
All right, Mr. Nelson, thank you very much for your help.
Cheers.
Sarge.
Ah, you must be the locksmith. Great. Look, can you get into this one here without making too much of a fuss?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, good man. Sarge. Dr. Nicholson. Oh, Dr. Nicholson. Sergeant Cryer, pleased to meet you. You better get back down. Just one moment, Doctor. How's it looking?
We've done all we can without making too much of a fuss. We're ready to try and catch her. We should probably see what's what.
Well, he shouldn't be too long. Right, Doctor. Perhaps you could tell me something here that throws some light on...
I think so, Sergeant. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't divulge this sort of information.
These aren't normal circumstances, are they?
I can see that. Mrs. Chambers came to see me yesterday to find out the results of a blood test. She's HIV positive.
Oh, wonderful.
You think as coppers we liked it? Is that it, eh?
Aye. Most bloody loved it. But you know what was sick about it? While the lads were fighting a battle for the jobs, I'm being starved at the same time. Your lot were earning fortunes in overtime and away money. Aye. Your lot loved it all right. And cash apart. Most loved cracking heads open and sticking a boot in.
Bollocks. Listen, there were some lads that went from here that came back crying, mate.
Aye. All the way to the bleeding bank.
You don't know aught about it. You've been bloody brainwashed like most back home. You make me sick. Yeah, all right. Maybe there were a few head case coppers who were more than keen, but for most, we hated it.
Archie died 2 days ago. Aye. 26 years old. A wife and 2 kids. Dead. A brain hemorrhage, they said. Naught to do with a crack on the head one of your bleeding lot give him, they said.
Can you believe that, eh? Can you? Is that why you're down here, then?
Bloody right. Cocker. Because the copper that did it came from this nick.
It's only right you should know. The doctor's just told me the lady's got AIDS. So if anyone's got any problem about this, then we'll talk about it now, yeah?
That's all right, go for no problem.
You sure?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. You all right, Liz?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah?
Sarge.
Gary?
Okay.
I've drawn a blank, sir. I've tried every house along there. No one's seen a thing.
Yeah, same here. If anybody does know anything, they're not letting on.
Any luck?
Yeah, plenty, mate. All bad.
Who'll be a copper?
Yeah, ha
Oh, it's about as useful as a chocolate teapot.
People piss out of a boot if it had the instructions on the heel.
Oh, well, kit time, I reckon I'm knackered.
You know something, Jimbo? Working CID is not like working any other job.
Job's a job, Ted.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You've got to learn to live in the CID, mate.
What are you on about?
I am telling you, if you carry on the way you're going and treat this job the same as any other, you're going to end up as casualty. Now get in the van, start the engine, and let's get to work.
I thought we were going to book off.
Well, you thought bloody wrong then, didn't you, mate? We don't get any kip until we check up on that security man. Now hit it!
I'll be down below.
Yeah, all right. Okay, stand by. All right?
Yeah, fine. All right.
Right, let's go.
Hello, Mrs. Chambers.
Go away. Do you hear me? Go away! Leave me alone!
Look, I'm not going to touch you.
Don't you dare touch me. No! Don't! Go away!
I just want to talk to you, Mrs. Chambers.
I don't want to talk to you or anybody else. Just go away!
Mrs. Chambers, I just want to chat.
No!
Look, I tell you what, I'll do the chatting and you do the listening. How about that?
Please just go away and leave me alone!
Peggy, why are you doing this?
God, you'd never understand.
I think I would. I do know about your problems, Peggy.
No? How could you know?
Peggy, I have to know.
I feel so dirty. So unclean.
I like some of it. Trouble is, it's all changed so much since I joined up, hasn't it?
Bound to change. It's got to, really.
Yeah, well, of course I wanted to work with dogs.
Dogs?
Yeah, I love dogs.
Well, what happened?
Well, trouble is I'm allergic to them, and
Right.
fur brings me out an horrible rash.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, officer. Is it a problem?
Yeah, two, in fact. Firstly, you're proceeding the wrong way up a one-way street.
One way?
Mm.
It's one way. How long is it one way?
And secondly, this is a car, not a lorry.
Yes, this car is my car. Yeah, trouble is, sir, you see, you're dangerously overloaded. You've loaded it up like it's a lorry. What? I'm trying to make honest living, officer.
Yeah, could you just pull in over there, please, sir?
It's never too late. There are lots of people that can help.
Too late for the likes of me. Don't you understand? I can't face the prospects. I can't just stand
Look,
here.
please, believe me, this is not the answer. This is not the way. We can help you if you'd let us.
It's too late.
It's not too late, Peggy. We
It
can
is.
help.
All right, leave me alone!
Sorry,
No!
Doctor!
Please! Oh, no! Put me down! Oh, please!
Sleep back.
No!
How did he find out PC Muzzle was from this nick, did he say?
Yeah, Muswell were also knocking off one of the local birds while we were billeted there.
Yeah, that's about par for the course. So what did he say when you told him he'd left the job?
He didn't believe me. Thought I were closing ranks.
Oh, well, that's it all tucked up again. He doesn't say much, does he?
Yeah, it's the quiet ones you got to watch, Alec. Is Inspector Kite in yet?
Just breezed in, last seen heading towards his office.
All right, come on then, Shaw. Let's go and offload this one on his desk.
Celebrity likes to see us, sir.
Go in.
Morning, Inspector.
Morning, sir.
My business shouldn't take very long. I realise you're very busy. Now, as you know, this investigation has been sanctioned by the Home Office in the light of new evidence supporting Ian Lyndhurst's alibi.
The so-called missing girlfriend.
We have had a signed statement from the woman. If the contents are unfamiliar...
With all due respect, sir, we also have a signed confession from Lyndhurst.
Indeed we do, Inspector. And another statement from Lyndhurst claiming coercion. He claims that you and your sergeant, Alec Locke, took it in turns during the interrogation stage and kept him without any sleep for 36 hours.
An allegation of a fit-up isn't exactly an original one, is it, sir?
Yes, Inspector. I've been around the block enough myself to know that. This is a statement from ex-detective Alec Locke. Interesting, eh? He refused to make a statement. And as you well know, that's almost as bad as sticking your hands up. Now, is there anything you'd like to tell me, Inspector?
Oh, cream crackers.
You'll get used to it.
Mr. Thompson's on the telephone. Would you like to have a seat?
Thank you. We must.
What's Mr. Thompson's position in the company, darling?
Mr. Thompson's our contracts manager. He's in charge of all our London projects.
Only for him. Thanks, love. Now listen, if you can't learn to keep your mouth shut, you're going to end up in trouble. Do you understand?
Well, now what have I said?
What happens to her now, Sarge?
Well, after she's been to the hospital, I suppose you do the round of trick cyclists. Then they'll hand her over to some therapy unit.
In other words, not a lot.
Yeah.
If that's all, Sergeant, I should be getting back to the hospital with Mrs. Chambers.
Oh, right. Thank you, Doctor. And we'll get along as quick as we can to get a statement. How long will she be out?
Oh, I give it a good 3 hours.
Right, thanks.
Well, thank you. Not only for your skill and bravery, but for your understanding.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, I do believe someone's throwing a cherry!
Come on, Sarge.
Well done, that woman, please, Beth. No, good job, Beth.
Thanks, Taff.
Yeah. Well done, love.
It was a good all-round team job, come on.
Well, rather you than me, love. That AIDS thing makes me cringe in my boots.
Okay, come on, let's get it together, shall we? Start behaving like coppers.
I'm not totally insensitive to what happened during the miners' strike. However, from what you've just explained, it's clear the man has just travelled all the way from South Yorkshire to London to seek revenge. Sad as the case may be, the man has broken the law and should be charged accordingly.
I understand the point, sir.
Then do your duty, Sergeant.
Problem is, sir, beg your pardon if I may,
You may.
I've already tried to explain to Mr. Hardcastle that Muswell left the force 6 months ago.
But he doesn't believe you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And?
Well, I think, sir, that if it came from a senior officer, he might take it as the truth.
Miss Calvert has signed a statement to the effect that on the night the murder was committed, she and Lyndhurst were in bed together in her flat in Walthamstow, which is exactly what he claimed when he was arrested.
Miss Calvert fled the country the very next day before we had a chance to question her, sir.
I'm aware of that fact, Inspector.
Well, then you should also be aware, sir, that I had another witness who gave evidence in court that he saw Lyndhurst with a brewer girl in a public house in Stepney only an hour before she was found strangled and beaten to death in Victoria Park.
Yes, the publican David Parkins. Bit of a lad was Parkins.
I wouldn't know.
Come on, Inspector. At the time of this case, Parkins was up on offer on a charge of receiving stolen whiskey.
Yeah, and the charge was later dismissed.
Yes. That was a turn-up, was it not? I mean, the more you look into this, the more it begins to smell like you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
With all due respect, sir, I'll treat that remark with the contempt it deserves. Would that be all, sir?
Like the dinosaur, Inspector, the days of the Lone Ranger are over. We do not break or bend the rules anymore.
And so, sir, are the days where a senior officer can intimidate the lower ranks with wild and inaccurate remarks. Thank you very much, sir.
Gov, you are to diplomacy what Colonel Gaddafi is to peace in our time.
Good morning, Mr. Hardcastle. I'm Inspector Kite.
Oh, aye.
Thank you, Sergeant. And a couple of mugs of tea will go down rather well, thank you, PC Shaw.
How often do you use Guideline Security?
We use their services on all our London contracts.
But you have been losing quite a lot of very valuable equipment from your London contracts in the last couple of months.
Sign of the times, I'm afraid, Sergeant.
2 large compressor units from sites in Islington, 3 jack hammers from a site in Wandsworth, and 2 Kango hammers from Kilburn.
Yes, and now a new JCB from the Wapping site.
Of course.
It's almost impossible to stop thefts from sites, Sergeant.
But surely that's why your company employs the services of an outfit like Guardline.
Sergeant, we use the services of Guardline because the MD of that company is related to the MD of this company.
Oh, I see. Keep it in the family number. Right then, well, just another couple of questions.
Here's the registration document you asked for, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Rita. Have you made a copy for these gentlemen?
Yes, inside.
There you go, Sergeant. No doubt you'll be needing this. And technically you are in breach of the law and should be duly prosecuted on no less a charge than that of carrying an offensive weapon. You do realise the seriousness of this offence, Mr. Hardcastle?
Aye.
And I should hope so. However, having taken note of all the facts involved and taking your past good conduct into consideration, I am authorised under the Attorney General's guidelines to use my discretion in such circumstances. What this means, Mr. Hardcastle, is that in certain situations, I have the authority to waive a prosecution and issue an official warning. Can you assure me you're worthy of my using this authority, Mr. Hardcastle?
Aye.
Fine. Should you at any time in the future be found in possession of an offensive weapon, you will be duly charged and prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
From his file and my experience of him firsthand, I would say Inspector Galloway has scant respect for his superiors.
He's a very direct person by nature. He's a good copper. Works well at his level.
That's as may be, but there's a distinct line between being direct and cutting corners.
Cutting corners?
Yes. Off the record, my investigation's finished.
I see.
Yeah, and between you and me, Lyndhurst has no hope in hell of a retrial. I tore his girlfriend's statement to shreds. It seems Lyndhurst still had some pull over her, but now she's signed a second statement admitting that the first was total fabrication.
Good. Anything else?
Yes, there is. I'm afraid I have no alternative but to add a footnote to my report to the Home Office regarding the manner in which Inspector Galloway conducted the initial investigation.
If I remember correctly, the trial judge commended Inspector Galloway on that very point. Your footnote would contradict that, I assume.
Yes, it would. And if the judging...
I doubt if his lordship is going to take very kindly to the suggestion that he condemned a man to life imprisonment without being in full possession of the facts.
Referring, of course, to the manner in which Inspector Galloway obtained those facts. He broke the rules. He must not be allowed to do so again.
There's not a copper in the service that hasn't broken the rules at some time or another. And that includes me.
The sooner it stops, the better it'll be all round. Thanks for the coffee.
If you really believe your last statement, I suggest that in future you resist the temptation for off-the-record conversations such as this one. I'll see you at your car.
We'll go over to Enfield, see if I can have a word with Alec Locke. Some wise, Gov. I mean, this is a Home Office investigation. Just visiting an old friend. Morning, sir.
Morning, Inspector.
He didn't waste any time putting the boot in, did he? What are you talking about? He was being nice then.
Half of them are driving round in brand new motors. And have you seen some of those flipping caravans they live in? They're like bleeding palaces.
You do us a favour and belt up, Reg.
Yeah, it's true, though, isn't it?
Well, I'm not bothered. Gosh, you wish I'm like an old woman sometimes.
How's it going?
OK. At least they're nice and quiet. How did Becker Street go?
Oh, all right. Viv did a great job. She had to grab the poor woman in, though.
Yeah, one up for the WPCs.
Yeah, well, look, I've sent Viv down to St Martin's Hospital to get all the details.
So, she could be ours.
Put a sock in it, son.
Yeah, I'll second that.
I'll get her over here as soon as possible. Any aggro from that lot, get straight on the wire, OK?
Yeah, you bet.
Is that what you call nice and quiet, Jim? Come on.
Thanks, mate.
Here. Go on, mucker.
He was my brother. Can't just go back and forget. There's no more you can do down here. Go home and help his wife and kids. I'll be back. I'll find that bastard. Get on the train.
When are we going to get some kit, Ted?
I'll get some while you just belt up and drive, all right?
Oh, it's all right for you. You slept half the night.
Look, the other thing about this job is you've got to have a very positive attitude. We'll get some proper kip after we've checked out Guidelines employment records. Now stop moaning and drive.
What's going on?
What the hell do you think is going on? He's giving us a tug, mate.
Oh, she's crazy.
Nothing to do with me. I'm getting my head down.
Look, I'm sorry, mate. We're on your side.
That's as may be, sir. But you still need to have working brake lights.
Well, I can understand how they feel. I mean, the job's changed so much, hasn't it, since they signed up? You take blokes like Alec Peters and Bob Cryer.
Oh, please, Reg, give it a rest. I'm not in the mood. Reg?
Yeah, what? What's that? Now, Jim, let's not overreact.
Come on, we've got to talk now. Shotgun, get on the radio, Reg!
PC 171 to Sierra Oscar, outside the DHS.
There's a man inside with a gun. Anyone hurt? I don't think so. Fired a shot at the ceiling and he was threatening the staff.
OK, now where exactly is the man? How many people are in there?
He's over by the counter. And there's dozens of people inside.
Right, now can you go outside and wait? We need to talk to you a little later. OK, thank you, madam. There's one man over by the counter. He fired at the ceiling.
Yeah, how many people?
Dozens.
Christ. Why does this have to happen the one day that I'm out on the ruddy beach? Here, hold this.
What?
And don't lose it. It costs a bloody fortune to replace.
Don't anyone move! You bastard! Give me my gyro, or I'll blow your solid block off!
Hear me, old mate. What seems to be your problem?
Bloody copper! Who called the coppers? Hey! Who called the solid coppers?
Nobody called us. I seen you come in here. I thought you looked a little bit upset.
Upset? Too right, I'm bloody upset. Do you know these bastards? These no-good bastards? They stopped my gyro!
Yeah, well, I expect it's just a clerical error or a computer cock-up.
A cock-up! A computer cock-up! Bring the bloody computer out here! I'll shoot its bloody head off! Come on, bring it out here now.
Well, it's not in here, is it? It's in that room there. The computer's over there.
I'll shoot its bloody guts out!
Well, it's sitting there. You're standing out here. Never was any good, that computer.
Bastard computers!
Right. Now, me old man. You just take it nice and easy. That's it. Well, don't just stand there, woman. Get hold of that. Right, come on then, son. Here we go. Nicely.
AIDS is, in fact, a most fragile virus. Its lifespan outside the human body is very short-lived indeed.
Yeah, but how long is short-lived?
Now, believe me, you have nothing to fear.
It's just, well, so frightening. Do you know how Mrs. Chambers actually...
Well, according to a GP, she got herself mixed up with a registered heroin addict.
How long before I can talk to her?
Be about an hour or so yet.
By and large, most of our site security personnel are either ex-police officers or ex-services people.
Most, but not all.
We're a large company operating in a highly competitive business. There are just not enough ex-services people of the right age group to go around.
So you use what we would call civilians.
Yes, but I must point out that we vet all our potential employees quite thoroughly.
How long has this Mr. Bastable been employed by your company?
It's all in here. Just over 2 years.
And before that,
What?
what was his last employment?
Self-employed. Thank you. Was in fact the director of a construction company. Quite small, I believe.
Well, thank you very much indeed for all your help, Miss Peters.
Ms. Peters. I'll get a copy of his address for you.
Thank you, Ms. Peters. Well, that was a waste of time, Gov. The old bugger's gone missing because he knew I want a word with him. What about Calvert, Lyndhurst's so-called girlfriend? Wouldn't I like to speak to her? They'd be having me suspended. I wasn't within a mile of her. So, what's the answer? Do you know, right, for once, I haven't a clue. Not a clue. Not a dark blue diving about, Robert?
Some old nutter blasting off with a shotgun down at the local DHSS office.
We heard on the radio. Who nabbed him?
You'll never guess.
Ackland, gotta be. She's got the balls.
No.
Who had the result then?
Reg Hollis.
Hollis?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. How'd he manage that?
He talked him to death.
Roy, my office, 2 minutes.
This is a waste of time, Ted.
Another thing you need in this vocation, Jimbo, is patience. Tearing around the streets in fast cars, chasing hard nuts, is only 5% of our work. This is 60%. Now you get used to it or get out.
What is it with you?
You're too flip, man. You moan too much, and you're too negative in your attitude.
Oh, thanks a lot.
And as a result, you could be asked to appear before a disciplinary committee at some time in the future. Off the record, Roy, your career has suffered as a result of your quick temper.
I'm a copper, so I'm not interested in being a politician.
With your clear-up record, you could be much higher up the ladder.
I get the job done. That used to be the way to advance up the so-called ladder.
Don't you realise, Roy, that times have changed? It's how you get the results that matter now. The system is not going to change for you. You've got to adapt to the new order of things.
Look, sir, my job is to nick people. Don't judge me on how I do it. Judge me on the results.
I think it's only fair to warn you that unless you make a big effort to get yourself under control, you're not going to go any higher.
Yeah, well...
Not only will you not get any higher, Roy, you could even find yourself slipping back. Gross insubordination is a serious matter. It's not going to be taken lightly.
I realise that, sir. But the way I see it is, I'm supposed to sit there and be accused of fitting somebody up, and yet I'm not allowed to react to it.
Detective Chief Superintendent Ledbury was only doing his job. And if you'd stayed to listen, you'd realise how good he is at it. Investigation's over.
So?
What's going on?
Just being positive, sir.
I'm sorry, sir, I don't understand.
Detective Chief Superintendent Ledbury, like any good investigating officer, went through the Calvert woman's statement with a fine-tooth comb. As a result, there's now a second statement, in which he admits that the first was nothing but a pack of lies.
But if Ledbury knew that, why the hell did he give me such a hard time?
Because, Roy, the Chief Superintendent felt it necessary to point out that good as the result was, the methods used to obtain it left a lot to be desired. Had it been now, today, you'd have lost the case against Lyndhurst before you even got it into a courtroom.
I'm well aware that the procedure is now...
Well, I'm glad you're well aware, Roy. That book is there for the benefit of all of us. In future, you obey to the letter. Understand?
Yes, sir. Will that be all, sir?
That very much depends on you, Inspector.
He's a stubborn man, sir.
No, just a bloody good copper hemmed in by the new order of things, Brian.
What have I ever done to deserve this? I've done nothing. Nothing.
I know how you must feel, Mrs. Chambers. But suicide is not the answer.
What is the answer then? Go on, tell me.
I ought to be getting back, Mrs. Chambers.
You don't know the answer. Nobody does.
Hold my hand.
You see? I'm unclean. Nobody's going to want to hold me ever again. I'd rather be dead.
There you go. Very interesting.
Oh, yeah?
And pull very slowly past the side gates. There you are. Elementary, my dear Watson.
How did you know?
Yeah, well, let's say I just had a feeling. It was only just a matter of time. All right, just pull in round here.
Been a bit of a pain in the arse, haven't I?
Yeah, just a bit, yeah.
It's quite obvious when you think of it. I don't know, I guess I've been too busy worrying and moaning about me kip. Perhaps I should have stayed in uniform after all.
Jimbo, the blokes who make the worst kind of coppers are usually the ones who don't learn.
Been such a prat.
Yeah, but you'll do for me, Jimbo. Now, come on, let's have a quiet look around. I smell the result.
Bet your Chad was making a few noises, wasn't it, Rich? Nah, not really, mate. I was only doing my job, wasn't I?
Chad? And what's Chad?
Bum Chad.
Yeah, I know that. But why Chad?
Chad Valet.
No, you've been here too long, you.
You know, I never thought he had it in him. He's racing with the Clavers office. Hello. You heard about him today?
Yeah. Congratulations. Well done, Reg.
I was only doing my job, wasn't I, darling?
Oh, he's going to be unbearable for the next few weeks. I hear you're up for a mention in dispatches after this morning.
Let you off the hook for the Lyndhurst case, then?
I shouldn't have been on the hook in the first place. New order of things.
Come on, mate, you got to have rules.
Don't you go the other way on me. Do you want a drink?
No, Alex gave me one. I'm not going the other way on you. Look, I don't like all the changes, but we've got to keep up with the times.
If they want me to stick to the rules, then so be it.
Oh, well done.
I'll play it straight by the book. You watch them scream when the clear-up figures take a dive. To the rule book and the new order of things.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, wherever it is.
I want to buy you a drink.
There you go, Ted. Another pint.
Your security man's got a nice little business going on the side. We got him banker rights.
Where's he been keeping the gear?
Well, we followed him to another site. Carver and me slipped in, had a little check around. Most of the gear's there.
What you doing here? Why haven't you nicked him?
Well, with all the aggro going on, I thought it best to come back here and get a search warrant.
I think so. See you, Bob.
Yeah.
Where's Carver now?
Well, I've left him there at the site.
You'll never learn all that one.
Wouldn't be the same if he did, would it, Alec? Just wouldn't be the same. And I suppose that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
I'm too flipping old to worry about it, Bob.